You know that saying, never meet your heroes? Well, it turns out your favorite on-screen duos might have needed that advice too. Today we're diving deep into 30 legendary co-stars who secretly hated each other behind the scenes. Trust me, some of these are going to absolutely shock you. Starting off strong with one that broke the internet. Number 1, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. For years, fans believed the four ladies of Sex and the City were best friends in real life. But the truth? Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall had some serious beef. Kim played the fabulous Samantha Jones, and while their on-screen friendship looked flawless, things behind the scenes were ice cold. Kim has publicly stated that she was never friends with Sarah Jessica Parker and even called her cruel. The feud got so bad that it's one of the main reasons we'll probably never see Samantha in the new series, and just like that. Kim once said in an interview that she and Sarah Jessica Parker had a professional relationship, nothing more. And when Kim's brother passed away, she asked Sarah Jessica Parker to stop reaching out, saying, "Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of how cruel you really were." That's not just tea, that's a whole kettle boiling over. Number 2, Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. Wait, what? Yeah, you heard right. That couple made us believe in true love with The Notebook, and they actually couldn't stand each other during filming. Director Nick Cassavetes revealed that Ryan Gosling actually tried to have Rachel replaced during production. Ryan apparently went to the director and said, "Would you take her out of here and bring in another actress to read off camera with me?" They fought so much that the director had to lock them in a room to hash things out. The screaming match that followed could be heard throughout the entire set. Ironically, they ended up dating in real life after the movie wrapped. Sometimes love-hate relationships are real, folks. But during filming, they drove each other absolutely crazy. Just goes to show that incredible on-screen chemistry doesn't always mean off-screen friendship. Number 3, Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is known for being hilarious and energetic, but apparently that's exactly what Tommy Lee Jones hated about him. Jim Carrey himself revealed this story. When they were filming Batman Forever, Jim went up to Tommy Lee Jones at a restaurant to say hello. Tommy's response, "I hate you. I really don't like you." Jim was shocked and asked why, and Tommy said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery." Imagine going to say hi to your co-star and getting that response. Jim later said he understood it came from a place of competition, with Tommy being a serious actor and Jim being more comedic, but still, that's pretty harsh. The tension was so thick on set that crew members could feel it. Tommy played Two-Face and Jim played the Riddler, and their rivalry on screen was definitely not just acting. Number 4, Terry Hatcher and the rest of the Desperate Housewives cast. This wasn't just one co-star feud, this was one against all. Terry Hatcher reportedly had issues with the entire main cast of Desperate Housewives. The drama got so intense that at one point, the other housewives, Marcia Cross, Felicity Huffman, Eva Longoria, and Nicolette Sheridan, sent a gift to a crew member and specifically requested that Terry's name not be included on the card. Eva Longoria later tried to downplay the rumors, but multiple sources confirmed that Terry was often excluded from cast activities and dinners. Some reports claim Terry was difficult to work with, while others say she was simply the odd one out in an already established group. The show ran for 8 seasons, which means they had to deal with this tension for years. Talk about awkward set vibes. Number 5, Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. Nobody puts baby in the corner, but apparently Patrick Swayze wanted to put Jennifer Grey out of the movie entirely. Despite their sizzling chemistry in Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze found Jennifer Grey incredibly difficult to work with. In his autobiography, he described her as a pain in the butt and said she was constantly giggling during serious scenes. Jennifer, on the other hand, admitted that they had their differences, but said Patrick could be moody. The tension was real enough that when they had to do intimate scenes, it required extra takes because they couldn't stop arguing between shots. The funny thing, they had also worked together before in Red Dawn, and apparently Patrick found her annoying then too. But hey, their on-screen romance was so convincing that Dirty Dancing became one of the most iconic movies of all time. Sometimes friction creates fire. Number 6, Lea Michele and Naya Rivera. The Glee set was apparently not so gleeful. Lea Michele and Naya Rivera, who played Rachel and Santana, had a notorious feud that lasted for years. Naya even wrote about it in her memoir, saying she and Lea were competitive from the start. She described their relationship as like two sides of the same battery. They couldn't exist without each other, but they couldn't be too close either or they'd explode. There were reports of screaming matches, refusing to be in scenes together, and general tension on set. Things got so bad that Naya was allegedly fired from the show during season 5, though this was never officially confirmed. The saddest part? After Naya's tragic passing in 2020, people criticized Lea for not posting about it immediately. The feud, even after one person was gone, continued to haunt them both. Number 7, William Shatner and George Takei. To boldly go where no feud has gone before, William Shatner and George Takei have been at odds for over 50 years. George has openly called William a cantankerous old fossil and said he's self-centered and egotistic. William, on the other hand, said he doesn't understand why George is so angry with him and claims he barely knew him during the show. The feud has continued through interviews, social media, and public appearances for decades. George has accused William of holding up production to get more screen time, while William insists he has no idea what George's problem is. They both appeared in multiple Star Trek films and series, which means they've been dealing with this beef since the 1960s. Now that's commitment to a grudge. The best part? They played characters who were supposed to be close friends and colleagues, acting at its finest. Number 8, Shannon Doherty and Alyssa Milano. The power of 3? More like the power of 2 against 1. Shannon Doherty and Alyssa Milano's feud is legendary in TV history. Their relationship on the set of Charmed was so toxic that Shannon actually left the show after 3 seasons. For years, both actresses claimed there was no feud, but eventually the truth came out. Shannon later admitted that they were both young and competitive. She said there was too much drama on set and someone had to go. That someone was her. Alyssa has also acknowledged that they had their issues, but maintains it was a difficult situation for everyone. Holly Marie Combs, the third lead, has sided with Shannon, saying that Alyssa made the set uncomfortable. The drama continued years after the show ended, with fans taking sides in the Great Charm debate. They literally played sisters with magical powers, but apparently those powers didn't include getting along. Number 9, Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep. This one's actually disturbing. Dustin Hoffman's method of acting went way too far during Kramer vs. Kramer. Meryl Streep revealed that Dustin would say horrible things to her before emotional scenes to get a genuine reaction. He once even slapped her without warning before a take. While this might have been in the name of art, Meryl was not happy about it. Dustin admitted to being difficult during the filming and said he was going through a divorce at the time, which made him identify too much with his character. But that doesn't excuse making your co-star miserable. Meryl handled it professionally, but she's made it clear in later interviews that the experience was not pleasant. Despite the tension, they both gave Oscar-winning performances, but at what cost? This is a reminder that sometimes the old ways of Hollywood were definitely not the best ways. Number 10, Isaiah Washington and Patrick Dempsey. From one medical drama to another, Grey's Anatomy had some serious drama behind the scenes with Isaiah Washington and Patrick Dempsey. The two reportedly had a physical altercation on set, which led to Isaiah using a homophobic slur directed at another cast member, T.R. Knight. The incident caused massive controversy, and Isaiah was eventually fired from the show. Patrick Dempsey kept quiet about most of it, but years later, Isaiah claimed that Patrick was the one who got him fired because Patrick wanted to be the top dog on set. Whether that's true or not, it's clear these two did not get along. The incident changed the entire dynamic of the show and ended Isaiah's character, Preston Burke, in a pretty abrupt way. Fans were shocked, and the behind-the-scenes story was even more shocking than what happened on screen. Number 11, B. Arthur and Betty White. Thank you for being a friend. Well, not so much. Despite playing close friends on The Golden Girls, B. Arthur and Betty White had a complicated relationship. Betty herself confirmed that B wasn't particularly fond of her. According to Betty, B was more serious and professional, while Betty was more fun-loving and playful. These personality differences led to tension on set. Rue McClanahan also confirmed in her memoir that B found Betty's positive attitude irritating. B was known for being very particular about timing and delivery, and Betty's more spontaneous style clashed with that. However, it's worth noting that this wasn't a screaming match type of feud. It was more of a we're professionals, but we're not going to be besties situation. They respected each other's work, but didn't hang out after filming. Still, knowing that Dorothy and Rose weren't real friends makes us a little sad. Number 12, Deborah Winger and Richard Gere. An Officer and a Gentleman gave us one of cinema's most romantic endings, but behind the scenes, it was anything but romantic. Deborah Winger has been very vocal about her dislike for Richard Gere. She's called him a brick wall and said there was no connection between them whatsoever. She found him stiff and difficult to work with. The director had to work overtime to create chemistry between them on screen because off screen, they could barely stand to be in the same room. Deborah even compared working with Richard to working with a piece of furniture. Richard, for his part, has stayed mostly quiet about the feud, which some say speaks volumes. The movie was a massive hit, but the two leads never worked together again, and Deborah has made it clear she has no interest in ever doing so. Sometimes the best romances are the ones that are purely fictional. Number 13, Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio. Star-crossed lovers on screen, but not off screen, Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio's relationship during Romeo and Juliet was reportedly very strained. According to reports from the set, Leo's pranks and immature behavior drove Claire crazy. She was 17 and trying to be a professional, while Leo, who was 22, was apparently in his prankster phase and would joke around constantly. Claire later said in interviews that she found him very immature, though she acknowledged he's a great actor. Leo never really addressed the rumors, but crew members confirmed that the two didn't socialize at all outside of filming. The funny thing is, their tension might have actually worked for the movie since Romeo and Juliet's relationship was supposed to be intense and complicated. But unlike Shakespeare's characters, these two didn't fall in love. They fell into mutual irritation. They've never worked together since and probably never will. Number 14, Joan Crawford and Bette Davis. Now this is one of the most famous feuds in Hollywood history. Joan Crawford and Bette Davis hated each other with a passion that burned for decades. Their rivalry started in the 1930s and continued until Joan's death. When they finally worked together on Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, the set was a war zone. Betty reportedly put a Coca-Cola machine on set just to annoy Joan, whose late husband had been the CEO of Pepsi. Joan, not to be outdone, allegedly wore weights under her dress during a scene where Betty had to drag her across the floor, making it as difficult as possible for Betty. They sabotaged each other's Oscar chances, talked trash about each other in interviews, and made the crew's lives miserable. But somehow, all that hatred translated into one of the most compelling psychological thrillers ever made. This feud was so legendary that it even got its own TV series years later, Feud, Betty and Joan. Number 15, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. The truth was out there, but so was the tension. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson played FBI agents Mulder and Scully for 9 seasons, but they weren't exactly best friends. Both actors have admitted that during the early seasons they didn't get along at all. The long hours, the pressure, and personality differences created friction. Gillian has said they were too tired to even have proper conversations sometimes. David admitted in interviews that there were times they could barely look at each other. The tension was so obvious that crew members would try to schedule their scenes carefully to minimize interaction when not necessary. The good news? Well, they eventually worked through their issues and actually became friends after the show ended. They both said that the distance made them appreciate each other more. When the Revival series was filmed years later, their relationship was much better. So this is actually a feud with a happy ending. Character development in real life. Now, if you're enjoying this video and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Seriously, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Also, look down real quick. Do you see that like button? Well, it's looking a little sad, don't you think? Give it some love. Hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. And now, let's get back into it. Number 16, Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere. This feud allegedly started over chicken grease. According to Hollywood legend, Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere were both in the Lords of Flatbush early in their careers. The story goes that they were in a car during filming and Richard was eating chicken. Some grease apparently got on Sylvester's pants and Sly was not happy about it. The argument escalated and Sylvester reportedly elbowed Richard in the head. Richard either quit or was fired, depending on who tells the story. Sly has confirmed that they never hit it off and that there was an incident involving elbowing. Both actors went on to become huge stars, but they've never worked together since. Yeah, over chicken grease. Sometimes the pettiest fights create the longest lasting feuds. This might be the most ridiculous reason for a Hollywood feud ever, but hey, never underestimate the power of ruined pants. Number 17, Lauren Conrad and Heidi Montag. Reality TV drama that was very, very real. Lauren Conrad and Heidi Montag were best friends turned bitter enemies on the hills. Their friendship fell apart when Heidi started dating Spencer Pratt, whom Lauren couldn't stand. The betrayal deepened when rumors spread that Heidi and Spencer had started a rumor about Lauren having a sex tape. The feud played out on screen for the world to see, with tears, screaming matches, and the iconic "You know what you did" line from Lauren. What started as a reality show storyline turned into a genuine, years-long feud. Lauren left the hills partially because of the drama, and the two didn't speak for years. They've since reconciled somewhat, but their friendship never fully recovered. The hills blurred the lines between reality and scripted TV, but this feud was 100% real. Sometimes reality TV is a little too real. Number 18, Chevy Chase and Bill Murray. Saturday Night Live has launched countless careers, but it's also been the birthplace of some serious feuds. Chevy Chase and Bill Murray had a backstage fight in 1978 that's now legendary. When Chevy returned to host after leaving the show, he and Bill got into a physical altercation backstage just minutes before going live. Witnesses say they had to be pulled apart and that the insults they were throwing at each other were brutal. The fight was allegedly about Chevy making fun of Bill's acne scars and Bill responding by making fun of Chevy's marriage. They reportedly didn't speak for decades after that incident. Both have downplayed it in later years, but people who were there say it was intense. Imagine having to go on live television minutes after a fist fight. SNL might be about comedy, but backstage, it was no joke. Number 19, Mariah Carey and Nicki Minaj. When these two divas were announced as judges on American Idol together, fans knew there would be fireworks. They just didn't expect an actual war. Their feud played out publicly with leaked audio of arguments, social media shade, and open hostility on the show. In one leaked tape, Nicki can be heard threatening Mariah, and the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Mariah famously said in an interview, "I don't know her," when asked about Nicki, which became an iconic meme. Nicki fired back with her own comments, and the whole season was overshadowed by their drama. Both left the show after just one season, and American Idol's ratings suffered from the constant fighting. While some suspected it might have been played up for ratings, people close to the show confirmed that the hatred was very real. Two queens, one tiny judge's table, and not enough room for both egos. Number 20, Wesley Snipes and the entire cast of Blade Trinity. Wesley Snipes' behavior on Blade Trinity became the stuff of Hollywood legend. According to multiple reports, Wesley was so difficult during filming that he would communicate with the director only through post-it notes signed from Blade. He reportedly stayed in his trailer for days, refused to come out for filming, and generally made everyone's life miserable. Patton Oswalt, who was in the movie, later told stories about how they had to use a stand-in for Wesley in many scenes because he simply wouldn't show up. And when Wesley did appear, he was allegedly hostile to everyone. Director David Goyer confirmed that working with Wesley was incredibly challenging and that there was constant conflict. Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel reportedly had to pick up the slack and do extra work because of Wesley's behavior. The movie suffered because of the behind-the-scenes chaos, and Wesley has never addressed these claims directly. It's become one of the most famous examples of a difficult actor making life hell for everyone else. Number 21, Charlie Sheen and Selma Blair. Charlie Sheen had his issues, but when he got Selma Blair fired from anger management, it became clear just how much he disliked her. Selma reportedly complained to producers about Charlie's work ethic, saying he was often late and unprofessional. When Charlie found out, he had her written off the show immediately. Charlie later sent out a bizarre statement calling her work obsolete and saying she had been dismissed. It was public, it was harsh, and it was very Charlie Sheen. Selma took the high road mostly, saying she wished him well, but that she wouldn't work in an environment where she felt disrespected. The firing made headlines because of how abrupt and public it was. Charlie was known for his erratic behavior during this period, so while the feud was real, it was also part of a larger pattern of chaos surrounding him. Number 22, Vivian Vance and William Frawley. America's favorite TV couple, Fred and Ethel, couldn't stand each other in real life. William Frawley was 22 years older than Vivian Vance, and he resented that the show made them a married couple. He thought Vivian was too young and attractive to play his wife convincingly. Vivian, on the other hand, thought William was a grumpy, difficult man. Their mutual dislike was so strong that they had a clause in their contracts that they never had to travel together or do publicity together. William would make snide comments about Vivian's weight, and Vivian would retaliate by calling him terrible to work with. Despite absolutely hating each other, they had to act like a loving married couple for 9 seasons. Talk about professionalism. Their comedic timing was perfect on screen, but off screen, they avoided each other whenever possible. When William died, Vivian allegedly said, "Champagne for everyone." Now that's a feud. Number 23, Topher Grace and Ashton Kutcher. That 70s show cast seemed like they were all best friends, but apparently Topher Grace and Ashton Kutcher had their issues. According to various cast members and crew, Topher was more serious and focused on becoming a real actor, while Ashton was more laid back and fun. This created tension, especially as Ashton's star began to rise faster with projects like Punk'd. Topher left the show before the final season, and while he cited wanting to pursue film as the reason, rumors persisted that he didn't get along with several cast members, particularly Ashton. Wilmer Valderrama later hinted in interviews that not everyone stayed close after the show ended, and it became clear that Topher and Ashton were not friends. They've never worked together since and don't appear at reunions together. It's a reminder that just because people play friends on TV doesn't mean they're friends in real life. Sorry to burst your 70s bubble. Number 24, Juliana Margulies and Archie Punjabi. This one's mysterious because neither actress has fully explained what happened. Juliana and Archie played best friends on The Good Wife, but according to reports, they stopped filming scenes together after season 3. Any scenes featuring both characters were reportedly shot separately and then edited together. When the show ended, fans were disappointed that their characters didn't have a proper final scene together. It later came out that the final scene between them was filmed with both actresses on set on different days. Rumors swirled about jealousy over awards and screen time, but neither actress has confirmed the specific reason for their falling out. Juliana has vaguely addressed it, saying that sometimes people on set just don't get along, while Archie has remained mostly silent. The mysterious nature of this feud makes it even more intriguing. What happened between seasons 2 and 3? We may never know. Number 25, Gene Hackman and director Peter Bogdanovich. Gene Hackman hated working on Mask so much that he never worked with director Peter Bogdanovich again. Gene reportedly clashed with Peter constantly over the direction of the film and how his character should be played. The arguments got so bad that Gene would sometimes refuse to come out of his trailer. The final straw came during editing when Peter used a different music score than what Gene expected. Gene felt betrayed and has been openly critical of the final film in interviews. Peter, for his part, has said that Gene was difficult and uncooperative throughout the shoot. The movie had critical success, but the behind-the-scenes battle left permanent damage to their professional relationship. This is one of those feuds where creative differences led to personal animosity. Sometimes artistic vision can come at the cost of relationships. Number 26, Bill Murray and Lucy Liu. This one got physical, people. During the filming of Charlie's Angels, Bill Murray and Lucy Liu had such an intense argument that it reportedly almost came to blows. Bill Murray was known for improvising a lot on set, and apparently Lucy wasn't having it. According to witnesses, Bill stopped the scene and told Lucy she couldn't act. Lucy, being the absolute queen she is, didn't take that lying down and stood up for herself. The argument escalated so badly that the crew had to separate them. Bill Murray didn't return for the sequel, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, and many believe this feud was the main reason. Lucy has since spoken about the incident, saying she didn't regret standing up for herself and wouldn't tolerate being disrespected on set. You go, Lucy. Number 27, Nicolette Sheridan and Michael Bolton versus Terry Hatcher. Wait, didn't we already mention Terry Hatcher? Well, this is a specific feud that deserves its own mention. Nicolette Sheridan was dating Michael Bolton while filming Desperate Housewives. According to rumors, Michael and Terry had dated briefly in the past, which created an extremely awkward situation on set. Nicolette and Terry's relationship became particularly icy, with reports of them refusing to be in the makeup trailer at the same time. The love triangle-ish situation added another layer to the already tense Desperate Housewives set. This feud combined professional jealousy with personal history, making it one of the more complex on our list. It also contributed to why Nicolette eventually left the show. Sometimes Hollywood is a very small town, and exes and current partners are bound to cross paths. When they do on a TV set, well, drama is inevitable. Number 28, Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy. Shia LaBeouf is known for his method acting and intensity, but it apparently drove Tom Hardy crazy during the filming of Lawless. Shia later admitted in an interview that he and Tom actually got into a physical altercation during filming. He said it was part of their process and that he has nothing but respect for Tom, but getting into a fistfight with your co-star isn't exactly normal. Tom has been more diplomatic about it, saying that making movies is intense and sometimes tempers flare. However, people on set confirmed that the two had a very tense relationship and had to be kept apart when not filming. Shia's intense preparation methods, which included getting actual moonshine and trying to live like his character, apparently clashed with Tom's more professional approach. They created a powerful film together, but it's safe to say they probably won't be working together again anytime soon. Number 29, Janet Hubert and Will Smith. This feud was so intense, they didn't speak for 27 years. Janet Hubert played Aunt Viv for the first 3 seasons of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before being replaced. For decades, she was very vocal about her dislike for Will Smith, calling him egotistical and saying he got her fired. Will, on the other hand, said that Janet wanted the show to be about her and that her behavior on set was difficult for everyone. The rest of the cast sided with Will, which made the situation even worse for Janet. For nearly 3 decades, they threw shade at each other in interviews. Janet felt blacklisted from Hollywood and blamed Will for ruining her career. Will moved on to become one of the biggest stars in the world. The good news? They finally reconciled during the Fresh Prince reunion in 2020, where they had an emotional conversation and both apologized. It was a beautiful moment that showed growth and healing. Sometimes feuds can end even after 27 years. Number 30, Stana Katic and Nathan Fillion. And finally, we end with Castle. Stana Katic and Nathan Fillion played a couple with incredible chemistry on the show Castle, but behind the scenes, they reportedly couldn't stand each other. According to multiple sources, they stopped speaking to each other off camera around season 5. They would film their scenes together but wouldn't interact at all when the camera stopped rolling. The tension became so bad that it allegedly contributed to Stana being let go from the show before what would have been the final season. She found out she wasn't coming back via social media, not from the producers, which many saw as evidence of how bad things had gotten. Nathan's never publicly addressed the feud, but Stana's abrupt departure and the way it was handled spoke volumes. The show was canceled shortly after, and the two have never worked together since. It's one of the sadder feuds on this list because Castle and Beckett's relationship was so beloved by fans, and knowing it was all acting is a bit heartbreaking. So, which of these feuds shocked you the most? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our content.